Thanks for joining us on Focus on Africa from BBC World News. In his first budget since coming to power, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has announced a big increase in spending despite falling oil revenues. The $30.3 billion represent a 20% increase on last year's budget. Education replaces defense as the largest share of the budget. President Buhari has also announced a new scheme whereby poor Nigerians would receive cash transfers as well as school feeding programs for children in government schools. But Nigeria still depends on oil exports for 70% of its revenues. And with the slumping oil prices, some are now questioning how President Buhari will fund his new social policies.
We must deepen our revenue from non-oil sector. Dependence on oil is unrealistic with the trend, the global outlook that we're seeing, and with the potential that we have as a country. The largest economy in Africa, we have no business depending. Even if oil fell down to $10 a barrel, we should be able to garner all the natural resources that we have. We have a lot of potential in agriculture, in solid minerals, in communication and ICT. A lot of low-hanging fruits that we have not been tapping before now.
Don't worry. Well, let's explore this a little further with BBC Africa's Ibrahim Shehu Adamu. You've been following these whole developments quite closely. One of the most interesting proposals is the cash transfer for the poor. Is it clear how this will work?
Well, Sophie, this was part of a campaign promise by the Buhari administration and the APC government. We are not clear on how this is going to take place, but he has mandated the office of the vice president to look into this. We are not sure on how they're going to differentiate who is actually vulnerable or who is in need of this money, because the money is supposed to be for unemployed and vulnerable people. We don't have a statistics of that, so it's kind of amazing how they're going to budget for people they don't actually know the number of.
And are people really surprised by this fact that they've put they've allocated a larger budget into education as opposed to defense, as opposed to what people would actually think?
Well, also, this is also part of his campaign promises, job creation. The government is proposing to recruit over 500,000 primary school teachers, and also there's going to be a school feeding program, and there's also going to be free education for science and technology students. This is going to form a big part of it. In terms of the defense, last year's budget took a big chunk of the defense budget, and a lot of contracts were given out by the previous administration. Up until Goodluck Jonathan left the office, some of the contracts have not been fulfilled. And also there have been cases of grafts that they've accused former officials of the past administrations of committing. So I believe he believes he's going to get some money back that have not been spent, and also to put them back in defense as well. So I'm not sure. I think that is why it's not been captured in this budget.
One of the other questions that people are asking is how the government plans to fund this whole budget.
Well, the government said it's going to borrow money, and I think the ruling party are already outraged by the decision of the Buhari administration to borrow money despite the slump in oil prices. Apart from borrowing, the government is going to do more in terms of kind of harnessing its revenue sources. They've put in place various measures to kind of streamline how they can boost the revenue sources of the country. And also there's a case of harnessing the mining sector as well. Just yesterday, the Minister of Mineral Resources, Kayode Fayemi, released a kind of a plan on how they can boost this sector to increase revenue. So they are also investing in agriculture, harnessing internal revenue, and also the mining sector.
So they're trying to diversify.
They're trying to diversify and look away from oil.
All right, Ibrahim Shehu, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.